Well, hello everyone. Welcome to a special weekend edition of the Shifts and Pucks News Pack for this Sunday, March the 20th, as we're closing in on the noon Pacific, 3 Eastern trade deadline. And as you can follow us, of course, at Shifts and Pucks, Facebook.com Shifts and Pucks, YouTube.com Shifts and Pucks, Twitch.com Shifts and Pucks. Subscribe wherever you get your audio, as well as join us on the Area 51 Sports Network. As wanted to take a couple of moments, some time here to go through a very busy weekend of trades heading into the trade deadline on Monday, as the Canucks made a trade today. Of course, they actually made two trades in a sense. So, of course, the acquisition, first thing, of course, is the Canucks traded Travis Hamonic to the Ottawa Senators today, and that included his entire salary, his $3 million salary. The Canucks received a third-round pick in the 2022 draft for that trade. Hamonic has 7 points this year, 3 goals, 4 assists in 24 games this season. He was had a late start due to his vaccination status, but he will be an Ottawa Senator as of right now. Unsure what the Senators will be doing with that future pick if Travis Hamonic is part of another trade later on within the next couple of days here, or they plan on keeping him. We'll have to see about that. The Senators are not going to make the playoffs, so it doesn't seem like a Travis Hamonic would be a guy that they're initially looking for a playoff run. So we'll have to see about that. But the other deal that the Canucks made today is they acquired Travis Dermott from the Toronto Maple Leafs, and has helped the Leafs out. The Toronto received a third-round pick in 2022. So really, what happened basically is the Canucks saved $1.5 million. They traded a third-round pick, and they acquired a third-round pick for this 2022 draft. Dermott has 5 points this year, a goal and 4 assists in 43 games. He's 25 years old. He has 1 year remaining on a 2-year, $3 million contract. He becomes a restricted free agent after next season. Dermott says he thinks it's a great opportunity. Lineup changes, hockey happens, and there's some new competition. And so Dermott will be playing with the Vancouver Canucks. So that's what the Vancouver Canucks did this weekend. They traded Travis Hamonic. They acquired Travis Dermott and traded a pick and acquired a pick. So we'll have to see. As far as other news specifically around the Vancouver Canucks, we'll touch on that first. General Manager Patrick Allvin spoke to the media, was asked about Tyler Mott. He says that they're always in contact with good players, but nothing seemed too close in terms of a contract being signed yet. The Canucks are playing the Buffalo Sabres tonight, and there was no one left out of the lineup due to any trade concerns or anything like that. Also was asked about Brock Besser, and Allvin said that they could be patient with Brock Besser. So there were rumors heading, of course. On Friday, we mentioned the possibility of a rumor of Connor Garland going to Los Angeles. The Canucks lost 5-2 to the Flames last night. They're playing Buffalo tonight. So certainly not looking necessarily like they've turned the ground to get into a playoff race at this point. So we'll have to see what the Vancouver Canucks are up to. Meanwhile, with the Flames, they acquired Calle Jarnkrok on Wednesday. Jarnkrok played 2 games already. He played once against Buffalo, and then on Saturday against the Canucks, he got his first point. Jarnkrok centered a line on Saturday with Andre Mangiapane and so as it was, the Flames changed the lines up. They had Lindholm with Giroux and Toffoli, Backlund, Dubé, and Tkachuk, and then Calle Jarnkrok centered Blake Coleman and Andre Mangiapane as the third line. Jarnkrok got an assist in yesterday's game, but they put at least Brad Richardson on waivers today. That opens up a little bit of salary cap room should the Flames want to make one or two more moves. So it looks like we'll have to see what happens there. We're suspecting that the Flames may or may not have been done, but we don't know. Always up for more there. So we'll have to see what the Calgary Flames have done. But let's go back on to the weekend here, as we had a number of trades, and that's part of where we'll get going here. We'll start back on Friday. When we last recorded, Brandon Hagel was traded. We didn't know where. He turned out to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Here, they sent Tampa Bay sent 2023 and 2024 first round picks. Taylor Radish, who played tonight, and Boris Tkachuk to Chicago. In addition to Hagel, they got 4 fourth rounders this year and in 2024. So that was the trade for the weekend. Brandon Hagel ended up with the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's where that trade ended up. Then on Saturday, there were 2 trades that happened. Hampus Lindholm was traded to the Boston Bruins. Actually, well, there were several more trades that happened on Saturday. Here, we'll go through that. But the big one, one of the big ones was Hampus Lindholm ended up in Boston. He, of course, was an unrestricted free agent. He was traded there to Boston, and the Anaheim received a first-round pick in the 2022 NHL draft, a second-round pick in the 2023 NHL draft, and a second-round pick in the 2024 draft, plus defenseman John Moore and Juho Vaakanainen. So that was the trade acquisition. And then Lindholm today signed an 8-year, $52 million contract with the Bruins. So that's an average value of $6.5 million. So Lindholm off the trade market, Lindholm off the UFA market as well. Then Claude Giroux was also traded yesterday. That trade was finally completed to the Florida Panthers. Sounds like this is where Giroux wanted to be all along. And so the trade ended up, the Flyers received forward Owen Tippett, a first-round pick in the 2024 draft or the 2025 draft, and a third-round pick in the 2023 NHL draft. Florida also got Connor Bunnaman and German Rupstoff, and a fifth-round pick in the 2024 draft as well. So that's another trade that happened. Yes, on Saturday. We also had the Minnesota Wild making some moves. They made a couple of moves today, this weekend, as they're looking to get continue on to the playoff around here. As we'll go back to yesterday's trade with the Ducks. They made here as they acquired Nicolas Deloriers from the Anaheim Ducks. So the Ducks have been busy making their moves as they're accumulating assets. So they acquired Nicolas Deloriers for a third-round pick in 2023. So the 31-year-old is on the final year of a 2-year deal that carries a $1 million average AAV as its cap hit. So Nicolas Deloriers ended up on the Minnesota Wild. Today, more trades. We mentioned the Travis Hamonic and Travis Dermott trades. Ottawa wasn't finished as well. They just sent Nick Paul to the Tampa Bay Lightning for Matthew Joseph and a fourth-round pick, as that trade just came down this evening. Paul was an unrestricted free agent coming into the season, but coming into next season, but he has been traded and he will go on to the Tampa Bay Lightning, as the Lightning replace Blake Coleman and Barclay Goodrow with players like Brandon Hagel and Nick Paul. And so that fourth-round pick, by the way, is from 2024. The Toronto Maple Leafs acquired Mark Giordano, former Flame Mark Giordano, from the Seattle Kraken, as well as with Colin Blackwell. I think that that's also an important part of this trade for 2 second-round picks and a third-round pick as well. So Seattle's retaining 50% of the Giordano's $6.75 million salary. Giordano, 6 goals, 23 points in 55 games this season. And Blackwell has 8 goals and 17 points in 38 games this year as well. Robert Hagg was also on the move today. He went from Buffalo to Florida for a 6th-round pick. And actually, that was the 6th-round pick that the Flames traded to Florida as part of the Sam Bennett trade last season. So Hagg is part of the Florida Panthers. It's a 6th-round selection in 2022. So that's another trade that continues to happen. The story that happened today. And so that is pretty much catching up on all the trades that have went on. There will continue to be more, I'm sure. I want to touch on a couple of injuries, though, here. The significant one being Aaron Ekblad. It looks like he is out week to week here, and that's part of the reason why they get Robert Hagg. Of course, the Panthers also got Ben Sherratt as part of a trade. He was hit. He collided with teammate Alexander Barkov in the 3-0 win on Anaheim on Friday, and it looks like that's week to week. So Ekblad 57 points, 15 goals, 42 assists this season, probably in the Norris conversation. If you remember last season, the Panthers did not have Aaron Ekblad for the playoffs. And of course, he broke his leg last March, actually. So, and he missed the playoffs. Hopefully for the Panthers, they can get Ekblad back in time for the playoffs this year. But that's a significant loss for the Florida Panthers there. And as well, Alex Ovechkin has tied Wayne Gretzky for the amount of 40-goal seasons. He reached it his 12th time today when he scored a goal. He scored his 40th goal against the Stars as the Capitals and the Stars play today. And we'll have to see what happens with the Stars. The Stars did come away with the 3-2 win today as well. So that is the news. Quick shifts and pucks trade recap of the weekend. Lots going on. We will be on tomorrow. We are scheduled to do something in the afternoon. Area 51 Sportsnet will have a live trade deadline coverage in the afternoon starting at 1 Pacific. We should be back on the air in the evening with a live recap that covers both the Flames and the Canucks. I'm just confirming we may have an afternoon live show ourselves, but just waiting to hear from Devin. So keep an eye out on our Twitter for that. Follow us individually. If not, we'll be teaming up with Area 51 Sports Network. So keep an eye on both of us. We'll have lots of trade deadlines coverage on the Area 51 Sports Network and on Shifts and Pucks for your day tomorrow. Getting our reaction. Want to hear your reaction as well. What are you thinking about all the moves? Who made the best move? What have you thought about what the Flames have done, the Canucks have done heading into the trade deadline as we go into the final stretch of the season? And you can follow us individually. Sean Beardy Canucks 03, Tyler TNOBLE, Chris Schneidz SCHNEIDZ, Devin Gordhow 09. I am KEVOLE. Shifts and Pucks. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Subscribe wherever you get your audio, as well as on the Area 51 Sports Network. And thanks everyone for taking the time, and we will talk to you all very soon. Bye for now.